Recording on this one.
Your audio sounds great.
Okay. This is recording, and then let me just get this on, and then we're good.
Is this in the
This
way?
one I think
Should
I have to
move
do
this? Should this go away?
vertically,
Does it
which
matter?
I always screw up. How do I switch? Great question. I always forget how I do that. I should know how to use my own shit, but I don't. This is where we're at. I think
It's
I do
all just so plastic and flimsy anymore, you know? It's not like
right?
like you have to have a toolkit to do this shit, so it's like, why commit it to memory? It's not
There
know,
you go.
You
There we
you just feel your way through it. It's like having an orgy.
There you go.
You just
This
fumble
is going to be a real spicy episode. I can already tell.
Spicy.
Don't ruin Christmas, Saskia.
This is the best Christmas y'all are ever gonna see. I swear it.
Oh, let me go into my other account.
Your itches.
All right.
Unbreak my heart.
And okay, I'm way too close. Good to know. It always does that. It's like,
want to hold me in your arms and keep me
that's the
safe
problem is I
and
never get both.
warm.
When I do this one, I can never get both people in the damn shot.
There's a gnat in here. Okay, let's go.
I think so, but I don't want to ruin your stuff. Sorry. Okay. That should be okay. Oh.
That entire soundtrack was amazing. The movie was awesome. I haven't seen it in many years, but I should totally rewatch it.
The Bodyguard with Whitney Houston?
Yes, and then rejuvenate my bone for Kevin Costner as a younger man, and
he was very cute. Okay.
Yeah.
I think everything is recording. I think we're good.
Right.
All right. You're in the shot. We're good. We're both in the shot. And look how festive it is. Okay. You want to test my mic?
Yes, let's do that.
And then we're ready. I always have it in the wrong spot.
Oh,
You don't have this way down very well today. This is
Bring it in.
very scary. You know how I am. I'm awkward. Yeah.
And then this mic is heavier.
Yeah. I'm terrified. This is very scary. Gosh, we're festive. Thank you, sir.
you're like
While you're doing that, I'm
Christmas,
gonna pop
I'm New Year's.
my can.
Yeah. I
Pop
need
my
this
top.
Fucking gnat to fuck
Why
off.
do we have gnats that come in randomly?
I don't understand.
Mm-mm.
I bet it's because it's raining and they're just little rehydrated little fuckers that have been slowly dying off in a corner, but now they got just enough moisture to like
Let me get comfy. Let's get the outfit comfy.
Back to life.
How's the hair? We're good?
Great.
We're good?
Yep.
Okay. Good.
Perfect. Is that right?
I think that's okay. Is it weighed down enough though? It's a little teetery.
I'll get another.
There is a little. I think I made contact. He's getting a sandbag. Then we'll get started. Hello. How was your drive here? I didn't know where you were coming from.
Downtown. I'm like,
oh, not bad.
Yeah. So
I came from Anthem.
Oh,
and,
Christ.
And conveniently,
Yeah.
my husband used my car today and did not. I was like, do I have plenty of gas? He's like, oh, yeah, you're good. And I get in the lights on. I'm all cool. So I'm just going to make sure I get there on time. We'll just wing it. Okay. This feels good. Could you glance at my things just to see if the mic's blocking our heads and our fabulous hair? Yeah. Okay. And we're both in the shot. Okay. Because so many times I've done these things and people don't have a head or something.
Oh, nice.
Or Tony B totally rolled out of the shot entirely, and when I was at that other studio, and they just never
nobody
said
mentioned it. Okay.
Nobody mentioned it. He just wasn't. There was just a ghost rider.
Well, okay.
If you want, I can scoot that couch just a little bit more forward.
Yeah.
If you feel like we need to, let's do it.
Bring the party.
Yeah.
Bring it in for the real thing.
Yeah.
This is why we go in early so we can
make these adjustments.
Yeah, just have furniture's been migrating. Thank you.
Yeah, you sit.
Okay. Try again. All right. my mouth, my la bouche, la bouche, my mouth, la bouche, my bouche.
That's fun.
My bouche.
Have you seen movie 43?
No.
You haven't seen that? Oh, we're doing both shots? Okay. What about the horizontal one, Martin? Is that one okay still? The little ring light one? Sorry. I'm extra today.
No, you're fine.
We're both in it?
Yep.
In it to win it? Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Way better now.
You can hear us okay?
Yeah, you guys sound great.
Hold on. We got jumpsuit tangled. The jumpsuit tangled.
Like,
okay.
I
I just really appreciate a little velour. I like your sequins.
Thanks. I'm really have come to embrace sequins here very, very recently.
Are we recording? Are we good?
We're
we're rolling. Oh, that's good. Hello. Welcome back to the Lauren Rachael Talk Show. I have my special guest this evening, Saskia B.
I'm special?
You are?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you typically go by just Saskia, or are you like Saskia B?
I prefer Dr. Clayton. I'm neither a doctor nor is my. Well, actually,
are you related?
My last name is Clayton.
You're related to Dr. Quinn?
Medicine woman?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
No, not that I'm aware.
Did you get your doctorate in psychology?
I did not.
Okay.
I got a Bachelor of the Arts degree.
Okay.
You know the difference between Bachelor of the Arts and Bachelor of Sciences?
No, I've got the BS. What's the difference?
One math class.
Was yours more fun?
I don't know if it was a fun math class that I didn't take. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. So
they were all pretty terrible. I'm pretty sure physics, I had to take physics 2 twice.
I feel like physics might have been one of those classes that made me cry.
Yes. And then I always ended up having a teacher that was, anytime I had problems with math, it was like a foreign person where their English was their second language.
Sure.
Fine. Write it on the damn board. Sure. They weren't writing it down. They would try to verbalize from sitting their ass on a little stool a math problem without writing it down.
Oh, that never works. Yeah.
And when you mix up your L's and your R's,
it's hard.
Not great.
It's hard.
Not great.
No, yeah. I never was, I don't think I was ever good at math. And now as an adult looking back, I'm going to revise that statement. I think I just never had a good math teacher.
Yeah.
I said it.
Yeah. When I had a good teacher, I had an A. So there you go.
Ms. Tisdale,
it's
none
fair.
of y'all.
It's fair. It's fair. So Saskia, how about you let our listeners know how they can follow you, your social media and all your things?
Oh, yes. I am on Facebook. I was born in 1981, so you do that math.
Got it.
Facebook. I'm Saskia B. B-double-E.
Okay.
And it's the same thing over on the Instagram, and that's where it ends for me. I don't do the other things.
I have you down as B Saskia.
Yeah, that's it. I think
she flipped it.
I recently connected them, so I think you can do either for both.
Okay.
But either way, if you come up with a yellow seal that's got a B on it, that's me.
And you are a comedian as well as an actress.
I am.
And then have you worked with psychology at all? Did you work in healthcare at all?
I was a bartender for a little while. So, yeah.
Me too. I was not good at it. How did you do?
Oh, bad. Very bad.
Did you?
Very bad. Yeah.
Why is that? I was
listen.
terrible.
Okay, first of all, it was a beer and whiskey joint.
Okay.
So it was like, if you're ordering anything other than, you know, a beer or a whiskey, why are you here? So, like, don't be extra, you know. Like, but
fair.
For us, we would occasionally, this was a college town, so occasionally there would like come some little, you know, sorority girl types in there, and they would want like a daiquiri or like a hurricane or like
and that's how they ordered it.
Basically,
the vocal fry.
Anything, I was like, I'm gonna put grenadine in it, and that's what you're getting. Because that's anytime you say those words to me, all I hear is red drink. Yes. And you're gonna get red drink.
Yeah. And then
you're gonna like it.
I think they do that to me a lot too. They're like, it's sweet, you'll like it. And it's either simple syrup or grenadine.
Yeah.
Or both.
Right.
And there you go.
It's a Shirley Temple with a shot of rum in it or something.
They really hate me when I order drinks. I usually order like an espresso martini or chocolate martini, like this the fancy, annoying shit to make.
Where are you doing this though? Are you doing it at a mixology bar where that's like the done thing, or are you like going to Applebee's and being like,
I'm not an Applebee's gal, not since college. I gotta say.
Fair.
Usually like a speakeasy or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
Sports bars, not so much. They can't even do a Long Island properly.
No, they can't even do an old fashioned. That's even
pretty bad.
Like, yeah. But no, I'm with you. I think if you're at a speakeasy, you're at a place that does mixology, and that's their thing.
It should
take advantage because there's some like really, really like delish libations out there that I otherwise might not have tried. Have you ever had an egg cream?
Oh,
darling, it's top drawer.
What's in it?
I don't know. It's just some
egg. Bad bartender. Me too.
Like, yeah, I drink it. I don't make it. You know, it's good though.
Yeah.
So
I was a
whatever.
bartender for a full week.
Nice.
I had gone to
Well done.
bartending school for like 3 months, so it was money well spent.
Obviously.
Obviously, much like my other careers in life. And yeah, I have to say, it's still like a family joke. Like my brother will just put me on the spot. He's like, "What's in a brandy Alexander?" I'm like, "Go off! I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
don't ask me these things."
And some dude named Alexander.
I probably like I have no idea. I had like flashcards. I'm not a big. I seem probably like a party gal, but I'm not actually a big drinker, and so I don't know what are in things, and I can't remember unless something I order.
Don't either.
Yeah.
I'm like a hunch punch kind of gal.
There you go.
Like, yeah,
just
handle
throw
of
it in there.
Everclear, just a bunch of Kool-Aid packets, some
Kool-Aid packets,
some random fruit.
Yes.
It's all good.
Yes. I do make a great Jell-O shot though. Bill Cosby would be proud.
Oh, great.
I'm just saying. I read on your bio that are you from Birmingham, Alabama?
Originally I am from Alabama, yes.
Cool.
Not Birmingham. I was born in Tuscaloosa.
Really? Okay.
But I spent my formative years in Central Florida.
Nice.
So which is like why my accent's very strange to some people regionally, you know.
Yes. Mine's a mix of things too.
Yeah. And then over the years when anytime I would hear something, if I just liked how it sounded, I was like, that's mine now. I say that like that now.
There you go.
I don't care, whatever. You know, this is my
reality.
Like,
good day, mate. You're like, where are you from?
Yeah, I'm cobbling this personality together as I go. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I am from there.
Okay.
And moved out here to Arizona probably like 4 years ago.
Okay. Yeah. Were you doing comedy in Alabama before you moved here?
I started in Birmingham.
Cool.
I started, my home club is the Stardome.
I read that. That sounds like fun.
Yes. It's
What's that
very big, like kind of auditorium sort of thing where it's like, it used to be a dinner theater place, I think. But anyway, it's like a 420 seat theater. So it's a place where you learn real quick or you don't. And, you know, I always tell people there is nothing louder than the sound of like 300 people not laughing. So figure it out, you know.
Oh, it's the worst.
So starting out on a stage that big, it was a pretty steep learning curve, but it's like, it makes you do it. It makes you tough right there up front. And, you know, and by the time that I had a year or so under my belt, I had already worked with some like, you know, pretty cool people that are higher up than stand-up comedy. I don't know how much of a household name they would be, but just like some really amazing
comedians came through there. That's good. Well, and I've done some shows with you. You did great in my Maui show. We did a fundraiser.
That was so fun.
It was fun, and you were great. And you did all the activities. Yeah. And I was really rooting for you. I think I gave you a hula hoop because I'm like, I feel like you should have won all the things because she was like dancing. She did the hula, and you did the costume contest, and you were very fun. So thank you for that. And you improvise well and you riff it well, and that's good. You have to kind of go with the flow.
Yeah, I think improv is like a hugely positive undertaking for everybody, and no matter what they do in life,
right?
Especially for comedians, but there are so many people that I've met through improv, and everybody, they're all doing it for a lot of different reasons. Some people are just doing it to make friends. Some people are doing it to break out of their shell because they're shy, or some people are doing it because they need, you know, more confidence in public speaking for their job or whatever. So it's not all people that are just like, you know, little attention whores like us, you know, just walking around in sequins and faux fur for no reason.
I mean, who says it's faux? No, I've got rabbits at home. Or do I? Are they still alive? Who knows?
She did.
I used to. So why did you decide to start doing comedy? What did you? What was the draw for you?
So I think people had told me all my life that I should be doing it, like since I was in middle school and stuff. And I was like, okay, but I never really had an opportunity to try it until I was living in Birmingham, which is where the Stardome was.
Yes.
And so they were doing like a class or something. And I know that's not very gangster of me to have started by taking a class, but that's how I learned stuff. So I took a class and it was awesome. And I had a great time. And
you gotta get the fundamentals out.
Yeah.
Like I just now started studying joke structure and format.
Yeah.
Like,
but
I've been doing this for 10 years. Like I didn't have any proper training. I just have been winging it this whole time.
There's always something else to learn and always a different way to approach it.
Sure. Yeah, that's very cool. And then have you been acting longer than you've been doing the comedy?
Oh my God. Okay. So like my parents put me into acting school when I was like 8 or 9 years old or something like that, maybe 9 or 10, because I was a painfully shy child. I was like
Really?
very introverted, and
Wow.
I don't think I was like, fearful or anything. I
Sure.
think I just didn't give a shit. Maybe, I don't know. I
Yeah.
was an only child, so I
Okay.
just
Like, she needs some friends, like
I guess
pronto.
maybe
Yeah.
they were like, she's being weird, so
She's
make
being
her
weird.
be with other
Let's
kids.
put her with the drama kids. That'll
I
make
don't
her
know.
less weird.
Yeah, right. Good call.
Was the marching band full? No,
Yeah, I
I was
know,
kidding.
right? It's like she doesn't have the coordination for that.
Yeah.
To do
I wish
acting.
I had done drama. Like, I
Yeah.
never did that in school, and I kind of wish I had, because after doing all this education and all this stuff in healthcare, I prefer entertainment, and I wish I had done that 10 years
Honestly,
ago.
I'm the same way, because
Yeah.
I kept doing theater and stuff all
Yes.
throughout my school years and
Mhm.
everything, but then I didn't really pursue it in any kind of professional capacity
Sure.
until very recently.
Right.
And because I always felt like I had to grow up and like do my time and do a job and get vested in a retirement and have like a stability and
Mhm.
all of these things.
Mhm.
And I did, and now I'm like, well, okay, well, now I'm gonna play, now I'm gonna do what
Yeah.
I always wanted to
Because then I
do.
got bored.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I was
yeah.
like,
Well, and plus when you're doing things for other people's,
it's exhausting.
in game, you're like, I don't care.
I've made a lot of other people very rich, and it gets
Right.
exhausting. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna do my own thing, and I'm much
Yeah.
happier.
Well, and I don't care about being rich or anything,
Yeah.
but it's just like my time is my currency,
Yes.
like I don't want to
Yes.
spend
That's
my
great.
time working on projects that I don't care about,
Yeah.
you
And it
know.
can be draining. Did
Yeah.
you ever work with any mental health patients? Did you ever do anything in that capacity with your training?
Not really.
Okay,
No.
that's the thing. That's the thing. It's like so often we'll have different degrees in things, and that's not at
Yeah.
all what we end up doing.
I'll tell you the reason why I have a psychology degree. I started out as
It's
a
interesting.
psych minor,
Sure.
just because it was interesting to me, and I was an advertising major.
Oh yeah.
And I got all the way up through the tail end of the curriculum in advertising, and the way that the courses were laid out were that I had to take a sequence, and it would have put me one extra semester to take that one class sequence. And I judged my schedule around and like checked the catalog and like triple checked it and everything and got it signed off on. So I had enough credits that if I dumped all the advertising stuff and I just took all psychology classes my last 2 semesters, then I would graduate on time with the psychology degree. So I was like, let's do that. Don't care. I mean, at that point, I was just like, the whole point was to come and get a degree.
Sure.
I still had no idea what I wanted to do or what I would use it for. I just knew I had to get one, and it was happening. And
it's the American way.
Right. I'm like, well, why would I stay an extra semester for one class in something I don't care about? So
totally. Yeah. Well, and honestly, I would think to some extent you could use psychology for marketing and advertising, because
that was kind of the whole thing, was because I was doing advertising with the psych minor to be like, oh, I kind of know what I'm talking about, but it just, at the end of the day, it just worked out better for me to do it the other way around.
Do you have any particular goals with working in entertainment?
Yeah, I always have little goals all along the way. So this past year, my goal was like kind of to start doing casinos, and that's what I did. So I started gigging at casinos.
Where did you do? I remember seeing a post, but I forget where you were.
I've been at Honda, which is up in Pine Top in North Arizona.
How was that?
It was awesome.
Is it cool?
Yeah, everybody there is super duper nice, and it's a beautiful little town, but it's just a little mountain town. So
that's cool.
That's all.
How was the audience? Were they really receptive?
They were sparse. There were not a lot of them there, because this was like during like the winter months, blizzard.
Okay.
Like I went in January, and it was like literally a blizzard, so there were like maybe a dozen people there.
Okay.
Which God love them for coming out. They had a great time. Yeah. And then this last one, there were probably a little more than that, but still kind of like not great road conditions. Sure. So that impacts the kind of room you get, but that's fine. I mean, that's the gig. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, the people that come out, they're coming out to see comedy, so they're going to have a good time. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think the worst show I've done, I might have mentioned it before, was recently. I was up in LA, and I happened to book, I booked a bunch of clubs, different nights the weekend I was up there, one of which was Flappers. I like Flappers, no problem with Flappers. I performed there a few times. The one in Burbank, you know it?
I have not even been to anything other than open mics over in California. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So I don't get how they plan their stuff. They'll run multiple shows at the same time. Some clubs do that. I get it. It's a big moneymaker. Like the Comedy Store does it really well. They've got multiple rooms that are full. But this particular club doesn't really market their stuff. They really expect the comedians to bring everybody, but it's a little hard if you're coming from out of state. And then what they did with my show It's a 7 o'clock, I think, on a Friday night, so it should have been prime time, right?
Right.
Oh no, the main room had Marlon Wayans, so they had me competing with Marlon Wayans. So it was basically like an open mic because I was in there with the other comedians, and then we were like leaving to go watch Marlon Wayans. So that's okay. But I feel like maybe we would have been a good show for afterwards when people still wanted to hang out and have drinks and still laugh. Move them over to our room for like 9 o'clock or something. Like that would have made sense to me. But it was a sparse. That's a good word for it. Very like my Christmas tree. It's very sparse.
Small but mighty crowd.
It was
what you call it.
Sure was. Yeah, I think it was my husband and one other guy brought his wife, and then it was just all comedians. So
nice.
It was very special. It was really
stray dogs.
It really uplifted the spirits. It did. I was like, I feel like a winner. I'm so glad I drove 12 hours for this.
Yeah. Well.
But I got this time. I got the stage time. It was fun. It's a beautiful venue. Jay Leno performs there all the time, and I fist bumped him. He's very cool.
Okay.
You know.
Fist bumped him?
I did. That's what I call it. But the casinos, I think, are fun. I think that's a good route.
It's neat. It's just a very different crowd than what you're going to have in a traditional comedy club or at any of these bar shows or anything.
Is it like just drunk people that stumble on in there?
Not really. A lot of it is a lot of older people that like frequent the casinos, maybe because they live around there or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But then you're going to have some different age groups staggered in there.
Okay.
I mean, it's just a very diverse crowd, but it does skew a little bit older, I would say.
Okay.
So it'd be probably great proving ground for somebody that wanted to do the cruise circuit or something. I don't know,
Yeah, I'm still deciding on that. I have yet to have a good cruise. Have you cruised?
I've never cruised and I never will. It sounds terrible. It sounds gross. I don't want to cruise. Thank you.
I will say 2 for 2. It was like being stuck in a shitty hotel for me.
That sounds exactly like what it would
Both
be.
were bad.
Yeah.
And it was like we made the mistake of going right between Christmas and New Year's, and the weather was bad, so they didn't let us dock to do anything. So I was literally, it felt like I was stuck in a Motel 6.
Yeah, no thanks.
For 4 days with my family.
Don't love that.
As an adult.
Nope.
Sharing a room with my brother. Not good. Not great. Not my. And that's the thing. A lot of people like they love it and they like to travel, but that's not how I really want to travel.
I don't. Yeah, I want to be where I'm going and then do things. Yeah, I don't want to be.
We need to do the resort circuit.
I'm not the gal that went. Do you want to take a scenic train ride? No.
No,
I don't.
I'm good. Hard pass. Well, what do you like to do for fun? Do you like to travel?
I actually do. I love to travel, but again, it's like I'm a destination and then we'll do stuff. It's not like trying to do the Amazing Race along the way.
Right? Like excursions. No, thank you. I've seen what happens. They forget you in the ocean. Like that's the thing.
Yeah, hard pass on all of that. No, what we're gonna do this coming summer, it is my mission in life is to get my husband to Alaska so he can see Alaska and just how pristine and just jaw-droppingly gorgeous the country is up there.
Yeah.
Because when I went up there, I mean, it was so arresting how like the entire drive. I drove from Anchorage to Seward.
Oh, my husband's from Seward.
Oh, okay. Wow. Oh, wow. But that I was just wrapped the whole time because the scenery and it kept changing and I kept seeing all different kinds of animals from like, you could see like frickin' whales off in the ocean off the side of the road and then bald eagles and all this other like
nature.
It was like majestic.
It sounds beautiful.
But so I want to get up there and my husband's always wanted to see like the bears do the salmon run and catch the salmon and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, let's make it happen.
My husband had said that at one point he had to help them kill a bear that I guess at a certain point,
nuisance bear.
Once they show that they're not afraid of people, that's bad because that's when they can attack you. And I guess apparently they're really dumb as an animal.
They're bears.
They were. I thought this was the cutest story. Like they found one sitting in the garage on a dryer, and it was eating a box of graham crackers. I just thought that was adorable. And I'm like, are you sure it wasn't like a circus bear that escaped? Like I feel like you should have saved that one. I know. God. Yeah. Apparently they ate the bear, so we'll see.
Okay. Well, shit.
Well, since this is technically my holiday episode,
technically,
I have to ask, how long have you been a Grinch?
I have been a Grinch my entire life. I don't give a shit about Christmas.
It's not your thing.
No, I mean, like, I guess when you're a little bitty kid,
did you enjoy it?
And you're the star of the show, and it's just all like heaping presents just for you. But that like stops when you're like 6. So after that, it's whatever.
Yeah. Well, are there any traditions with Christmas that you actually enjoy?
No.
None.
No. Drinking. Drinking.
The drinking's fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Yes. Yeah. So would you say you're more of a New Year's gal?
Sure.
No.
No.
Not feeling festive.
I'm like nothing in winter at all. Like when I should be a bear. I should be hibernating right now.
You just pop out in the summer.
I would,
So,
yes. And then
what's your favorite holiday then? Like 4th of July or something?
Oh my God, Halloween. Like,
oh, well, yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah,
You
I
like to
love
dress up and do
Halloween.
costumes
Yeah.
and things, right?
Love
Yeah.
it. Love
Okay.
it. And candy.
Yeah. Yes, that's
Yeah.
very fun. Well, and also, I guess it depends on the neighborhood. Like this year, we tried to get into Halloween, and
Yeah.
there were like 6 kids total, and I'm like, this was a lot of work.
That's the saddest. I know. Yeah, like we had the same experience. We were living in the
Weird.
suburbs in Goodyear, and like both years it was like maybe a dozen kids.
It's getting Are they afraid that we're all poisoning the chocolate?
Of it. Well, it was also around like it was pre-COVID and post-COVID, but even then it was just like not enough for it to
Even
be,
in the
like,
before
that
times,
great.
it was not great.
Yeah, but I will say
Yeah.
when we lived in Birmingham, we were that house for
Yeah,
Halloween
it's fun.
because my husband is an engineer and he
Yes.
built one of those vortex
Oh,
tunnels
neat.
that you like walk through. It makes you dizzy or whatever. Built one of those. Built like a
Wow.
mausoleum in the front yard.
Oh, cool.
We had like a full gorilla suit, and so he would get dressed up in a full gorilla suit and like hide out in the
I love
yard.
that.
And like all of the parents were like, they kept coming back. It wasn't the kids as much. All the parents kept bringing more parents and basically wanting them to get scared and stuff.
Yeah,
which
it's
totally
fun.
worked.
That's cool. So we have a fun house.
Yeah.
We did a speakeasy one year.
Oh, fun.
It was mostly all the stuff we had left over from our wedding. So we're like, let's reuse
nice.
this because that was like a $40,000 tab. So I'm gonna reuse all the decor. We're gonna
Do
use all the
that.
shit. Disco balls. That's from the wedding.
Nice. Love it.
Still use them. I'm gonna have those forever.
Keep them in the rotation. Love it.
Right? Yeah, exactly. But even then, and we had little kids do like a little password. They had to say money to get like the chocolate, and if they didn't know what if they said trick or treat, we'd give them like the other candy that wasn't as good.
Oh.
I know. We're just teaching them about the way life is.
Okay.
You know, you gotta get a leg up in this world.
I guess.
Okay, so if you had to pick one,
Okay.
and you could only watch a Christmas movie, that was your only option. It has to be a
Okay.
Christmas flick.
All right.
What would be the one that you could tolerate the most?
Die Hard.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah.
It is a great movie. I do
Yeah.
like that. How do you feel about Just Friends? I love that movie.
What the fuck is that? Just
with Ryan
Friends?
Reynolds. It's freaking hysterical. Where he was like in the
No
fat
idea.
suit. Oh, you have to watch that.
Okay.
We just drove back from San Diego and I was playing it in the car on the way home and it was like it made a delightful trip. You should do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
Amazon
Friends.
Prime on your like phone app, you can like watch stuff.
Okay.
Technically you should be driving and not watching movies.
Eh.
But you know, I just went with it.
I'm a
No, you need
modern
to watch that
woman.
when you get home. That is your
Okay.
homework for Halloween. Or
Okay.
Halloween, Christmas.
Great.
Okay. So I was going to ask you this, since you do have a background in psychology. Speaking of entertainment as well, do you feel that with certain celebrities that seem to be not doing as well mentally, do you think there's a correlation with them having worked in entertainment as children or something happened there? Or do you think it was just people that, actually had some sort of issue and they just happened to work in entertainment?
I mean, little column A, little column B. I think the Venn diagram of people who work in entertainment and people who have narcissistic tendencies, that's a kind of a perfect circle some days. And there's certainly conditions in both of these that would exacerbate any like pre-existing tendencies to
That's a good way of thinking about
be
it.
nutty about it, I don't know.
There's a few
Everything is so case by case. I feel like
yeah,
it's
like Amanda
real
Bynes
hard
comes to mind. Like, and I
don't know, but like I don't know these people in real life. I don't know what their real
know.
story is. You
Yeah.
know, like I have nothing but sympathy for anybody who's under a microscope like that and
That's
is
the thing.
like super turbo famous, like Britney Spears.
I
And
think
all
that'd
of
be
her
very annoying.
infamous episodes, but it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what if I put you in a terrarium and tap on it, 24/7? You get a little bonkers too.
Well, yeah, you can't
You
just
know?
go to the store and buy
Right.
something. You can't go grocery shopping.
Right.
You can't go to a doctor's appointment, a court appointment,
And I
whatever.
almost think maybe something about being like specifically like a Nickelodeon kid or whatever,
Yes.
where like
Disney.
little kids will make somebody crazy, even if they're in that same age bracket almost.
Yes.
We had a pony at the zoo, y'all. His name was Napoleon. And he had to go live at a special place for rescue ponies because he turned into a biter.
Really?
And this is one of those things where it's like, yeah, at the end of if you sit there and try to pet my face
Constantly.
and then scream pony in my face all day, I am gonna bite you.
Oh.
And I feel like maybe that's what happened to Amanda Bynes.
pretty.
I mean, think about
pretty.
it. Little kids just
Yes.
clawing at her and clawing at her, and
Yes.
I'm sure eventually she's just like, I can't take it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that that's fair. And I think not having the ability to just take a break from it and check out and just go to a store, go
and
out
also
to
how
eat.
much autonomy did she really have being underage? I don't know how those things work. I mean,
yeah,
stage moms. Stuff
Stage
like
moms
that.
are
Forget it.
a real thing. I kind of missed the Toddlers and Tiaras show. I thought that was like whoa, and it was very obvious that most of them they were living through their kids because these kids were little, like 3, 5, and they were just like giving them pixie sticks. Now, for the ones that actually liked that stuff, like little girls doing dance, like if they actually liked it, that's one thing. But a lot of them, it looked super forced.
It should be, I would think.
Right? Well, a lot of them looked forced, and so they were just, spray tanning these kids.
That's
and
so bizarre.
The little flippers for their fake teeth.
It's so weird.
Feeding them pixie sticks. Little Christmas elves. I know. What is something about you most people wouldn't know?
Wow. What is
Any
something
pageants?
about me that most people wouldn't know? I don't. Okay. Here's a thing that's weird. I think it's weird. Maybe other people don't think it's weird, but I've always thought it was weird.
Mm-hmm.
In 10th grade, I was voted most unpredictable.
Really?
Uh-huh.
That's kind of cool. I like that.
And then in 11th grade, I was voted most laid back.
Okay.
And then in 12th grade, most laid back again.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're popular. You're very chill.
I wouldn't say that. I think I was just
checked out,
markedly real laid back, I guess, to a surprising degree, maybe at first.
You don't seem real I've worked with you in many different things, and you don't seem real wound up. Like stuff annoys me. I'm very Italian, so like we've done dinner theater together. We call that theater, right? And one guy was very rude, and I was like, okay. I walked out of the room. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna check out. And you were just sitting there like me. I'm like, I need to go because I'm gonna yell at this man.
It's real easy for me to like tune shit like that out. I don't know, but
I wanted to smack him. I just wanted to.
I mean, some people need it.
I mean, ever since I got rid of spankings, I feel like there's still like we've got this whole crop of just shitty adults.
Some people's face with the back of my hand.
Right? I know. Apparently, it's like illegal now, but I just feel like back in the good old days, like the 40s. Sometimes
you take them out on a boat. Who's to say?
Right. Exactly. I like that. That sounded a little Italian. I appreciate that. Your name again. Your name is you said it's
okay. Yeah.
Yes. What's the story on your name?
Saskia. It is a Dutch name.
Dutch. Okay.
But I'm not a Dutch person.
Yeah. I love that.
It's literally just a name picked out of a book.
That's so random. Yeah. It's cool though. You're the only one ever.
I don't
that I've
think
ever met.
So. Apparently, it's a super common name in like Holland and Germany and places like that.
Wow.
And I've met people who actually, it was at the bowling alley the other night, and this kid looked over and looked at the screen. He was like, I have an aunt named that.
Really?
I was like, good story, kiddo. But
do I know her?
It happens. Yeah.
Really?
I think there's somebody that cuts hair here in Phoenix whose name is Saskia.
How interesting.
I know, but I haven't met them.
And is your middle name B?
No.
You had that as a stage name?
Okay, so B came from really, that was my Facebook name, because when Facebook first started, I worked at the University of Alabama, and I didn't want students to be able to find me.
Yeah.
So I was trying to use my maiden initial, and my maiden name is Badgewell.
Oh, okay.
But I just put the letter B.
Yeah.
At the time, Facebook said, no, you can't just be the letter B. You have to be a name, and a name is 3 letters. And I was like, okay, B-E-E. So it was just that, and like
your little logo is a bumblebee, and I think it's really cute.
Yeah. But I've always been that on Facebook. So when I started comedy, everybody assumed that was my name.
Sure.
When I was really just like trying to avoid people with that name.
Yeah, that's what I did too. That's why Rachel's my middle name, and that's why I go by Lauren Rachel. But I would just be happy if people would just call me Lauren. If they don't know, just call me Lauren. But like people call me Rachel all the time. It drives me bananas.
That's weird.
Yeah, you don't think it's not rocket science? Like I'm replacing my last name.
Yeah,
But you want to call me Dr. Ragazzo? We can go there. I'd rather you didn't. It's just a
Yeah.
reminder of my student loans. I mean, just
Sure.
It's like
Well, you know what's weird? To me, like the way my brain works is that I already know like that your name is Lauren Rachel Ragazzo Brown.
right?
Because
you even got the married name in there.
I
Good
actually
job, girlfriend.
do all
Thank
of
you.
this genealogy shit. So I have built so many family trees. So I think about people's maiden names. Like I will do it. I'm serious. Like I am like a dog with a bone with that. I will find.
Oh, that's cool.
Out.
I did look up my grandparents, and their signatures are at Ellis Island, and because they came over.
That's amazing.
To New York in the 40s.
Yeah. I wish I had some kind of documentation like that, but I do have a really, really like very complete genealogy, at least from like my maternal grandfather, whose name was Cadenhead. that's a line directly from Scotland.
Oh, so you're Scottish. Cool.
Anybody like since they hit the American coast, I have that whole lineage.
That's cool.
In detail, but anything before the leap over is like,
yeah. Well, the records are probably a little different, and
and I have I don't know how to read those old Gaelic.
No. Have you been over? Have you been to?
I have not, but I would love to. It's definitely.
I know.
On my list.
It's Italy's been on my list. I'd like to go now that it's dried out. It's been flooded several times. So.
I did not know.
Yeah, and then apparently, from what I heard from another guest, Venice is a great day trip.
Okay.
It's stinky and overrated, apparently.
Oh, it sounds like the New Orleans of Italy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we were actually supposed to go for New Year's, and we're not going to actually go this year, but I think we're maybe going to try to go in the spring.
What's New Orleans or to Italy?
We're going to go to New Orleans, and it just,
you should go to Italy.
We've tried the last 2 years to go for New Year's, and it like falls through for some reason. I'm like, maybe we're just not meant to go there for this holiday. Like, I don't know what's happening.
Have you ever been?
Yeah, I went in 2018. I had a great time, but I was there in October.
Okay. I was going to say, like, okay, cold weather months, maybe.
Yeah, and it was less.
I went in June one time.
Oh,
no.
It
was disgusting.
Oh, it's, yes.
No.
What a bad place for your hair. Yeah,
mm.
no. And I really did like the food. I did not last on Bourbon Street though.
That place is gross. It smells like a horse stall.
It's but people like
it's nasty.
Aren't potty trained out there for some reason.
No, it's gross.
It reminds me. Yeah, doesn't it remind you of like Fremont Street in Vegas, like times 10? It was horrible.
Like Fremont Street plus Panama City Beach plus like
Walmart.
All of that.
I lasted, and I like to think I can kind of hang. Like I'm not as laid back as you by any means, but I lasted 1 hour, literally only an hour. And I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Like someone screamed in my ear. Someone tried to motorboat me. Like so many things were happening, and I was sober, so I was like, I can't drink fast enough to tolerate.
That was the other thing where it's
this
like,
street.
Yeah, y'all don't serve fast enough for me to get drunk enough to tolerate this shit.
No, I think I'd like to go back maybe in the spring or the fall, tour the mausoleums, like
I want to do that. I want to see like the cultural type stuff like that.
Did you go to any jazz clubs when you went?
No.
That was fun. Frenchman Street's where it's at. That was cool.
See, I went with a dork who like made it bad, and like I've just never been back and never wanted to. It was somebody I was dating, and we broke up the last day of the trip. So it was a lovely flight home. Sweet.
Oh, it was awesome. And he was like blackout drunk, and I told them, and he was playing the air guitar, and they had enough of his nonsense. And it was male flight attendants, and they were big. And I was like, so I went to the back of the plane. I was like, listen, we're not together. So if you need to zip tie him or taser him, I just want you to know I'm not part of this. I'm not getting arrested for him doing on the plane. It was a hot mess.
Wow.
Yeah, he was pounding booze in the airport before we got on the plane.
Boy.
And I think he was one of those people that snuck in the mini bottles.
Uh-huh.
And it was like, do you really need 19 cocktails? Like, it's like a 3-hour flight. Like, what are we doing?
Wow.
Yeah, and he was in the middle seat. So I felt really bad for the guy on the aisle.
He was having a big day.
He was having a big day. And it's like, we just drank for like 4 days straight. Like, my liver had enough. Like, we were good.
Whoa.
Yeah, you have to have the right company. Any trip, if you're with the wrong person.
Oh, girl.
It doesn't matter where you are.
You
can be in Paris at the Eiffel Tower.
I'm hard to travel with I think I'm hard to travel with, but it's really like other people are hard to travel with, and I can't tolerate it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'll never do like a tour group. That would make me insane.
I mean, I could do anything where as long as I have my own vehicle and my own place to sleep.
Yeah.
Everything else, we can meet for a meal. We can meet at the museum. We can meet to do this thing.
Yes.
But I will go to sleep when and where I feel like it, and I will drive away from you when I.
Or like expecting, like there are some people. See, I am a usually right on time person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like people that are super late.
Yeah.
My husband is not great with time for some reason, so for our wedding I did tell him like 2 hours earlier.
Yikes.
Like I think our wedding was at 3:30. I told him 1:30. So he was just hanging out in his tux. That's fine. At least he was in the building.
Right.
We're good.
You can keep him contained.
Well, that's what I had to do. And then the other people that make me bananas are the people that are super early. Like they've showed up, like they'll show up like an hour ery. Well, I'm here. I guess I'll just hang out. I'm like, I guess you're gonna hang out. Like I'm still drying off out of the shower. Yeah. Like what?
Yeah.
So it's like the balance. And I feel like, if you do some sort of tour group on a trip like that, you're really relying on other people's schedules, and if they feel like going to get lunch and they feel like going to that museum.
No, I'll say this, like if you're going to Italy, and I've been to Rome, which
cool.
That's a place where you do want to take the tour, Because and not like a huge one, but like an intimate group of about a dozen people or so, because you're gonna get a great experience with like somebody who's there, and they like those people that are tour guides there love what they do. We had a girl who she had a master's in art, so it was her passion to talk about everything we were seeing right there, and it was just incredible.
I think I want to go, if I go to another country as well, I think what I'd like to do is do some of the local stuff, but maybe if I go to Italy, I would do like Carnival. I feel like that would be fun. Like I like to do what the locals do. So like that's why I had a good time in New Orleans still.
I thought Carnival was like in Brazil or something.
They have something where they wear like the masquerade masks and ball gowns in Venice. It's like they do it there too.
Oh, didn't they do that in Twilight?
I feel like it's maybe like a Catholic thing.
Twilight.
Yeah, I think it's a Catholic thing.
Twilight.
You like that movie? You like the series?
I'm not gonna lie, I do.
Do you like a sparkly man?
I wouldn't turn down a sparkly man. You know, like I know it was real like kind of like, oh, they're too young for old ladies to want to be lusting after, but I'm here to tell you, like Taylor Lautner in that movie, I'm sure he was still just a zygote, but he had the body of a man.
He was cute. He was cute.
Yeah.
So you're more into him than the Robert Pattinson.
Team Jacob. Yeah.
You're Team Jacob. They're both pretty cute. But yeah, I agree. Yeah, I feel like the movie kind of went off the rails. I got toward the end, like I don't know which episode that was or which, but it like where they had like the werewolves versus the vampires. Just we kind of went off the rails a little bit. But that's what the book did, I guess.
Sure.
You know,
I mean, you can only get like a fraction of what's in a book into a movie.
Yeah, it felt cramped. Yeah, and they made them really large, very large werewolves.
They were very large.
They're very large, a little big. Yeah. Did you ever see Interview with the Vampire? That came out years and years ago.
Of course, yes. That's kids. One of those that like my husband and I will both rewatch that. We'll rewatch it over and over. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really well done. Plus, they had really hot guys in it.
Yeah.
So
well, and also like Tom Cruise in that movie. Like, okay, I know that Tom Cruise is crazy, and a Scientologist and crazy, but damn it, he's still like he is such a good actor because he's so unhinged and so like committed.
Yeah, he does his own stunts. I heard
him in that movie, like him as Lestat, is that who he is?
Yes.
Whatever, I don't know names. But yeah, he was just perfect.
Yeah,
as that character.
Brad Pitt was good too.
Yeah,
he's pretty chill. You know, it's so interesting when you see people acting. For the most part, they have kind of their baseline personality, and no matter what they're performing in.
Yeah.
Like Brad Pitt, even if you weren't watching it, you were just listening, you'd be able to pick him out. Like he just kind of always has the same.
Yeah.
It's like Matthew McConaughey. They kind of have the same vibe, and they just put him in different outfits. Kind of what it felt like to me.
Do you remember that god awful movie that Brad Pitt was in? It was like Meet Joe Black.
Oh yeah.
Where he was like dead. He was
deaf.
Oh my god. I was like, oh god.
It made me sleepy.
The shit sucked. It was terrible.
Yeah. It wasn't great. But because he's so handsome, I watched it.
Even then, I was just like,
at that point,
it just felt like I could just watch it on pause. I don't know.
Well, yeah, at that point, certain scripts, I will say this, it seems like they cast really attractive, successful actors to kind of carry a film.
Right.
But there wasn't a lot of substance there. I agree. The plot wasn't amazing.
It feels like that.
It was very boring.
It was wrapped up in the package of here's all the movies you're going to do, Brad, before we let you go.
Yeah, that wasn't great.
It's like somebody's nephew's script kind of shit.
Yeah, that was kind of an odd one. I'm trying to think. There are some that are pretty versatile with things. I like silly people though. Like I like Ben Stiller and like I might get shit for this, but I still think he's funny if he's not over the top too much. Like Will Ferrell, I think is just funny.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how he'd be at like Thanksgiving dinner. I feel like it might go off the rails, but you know,
who knows?
Yeah, like he's fun. I really miss Robin Williams. I thought he was very talented in that he could play different types of roles, where like serious roles and things like that. Yeah. Like What Dreams May Come was a really beautiful movie. But he wasn't always doing the silly, wild thing, and that showed he had some substance.
Well, he had a ton of range. I mean, he was a very good dramatic actor. He's also a very good comedic actor,
right?
And a good comedian and improviser and all of these things. So yeah, he had an incredible amount of range.
Well, and I noticed too, a lot of comedians end up going and ending up being in movies, and like especially like the SNL people. Yeah. What about you? I mean, is your goal with entertainment? Do you want to do more
Porn,
like
yeah.
porn, Pornhub? Do you like more theater, or do you want to do more like scripted, televised things? Like, what's your
I'll
goal
say
for
I
acting?
like everything, and I run my life by what I call my carousel of interests.
Sure.
And so, and that is just whatever is in front of me. It's opportunity. It's whatever is interesting to me. It's maybe the chemistry of other people that are doing it at the same time. So when I'm not doing a lot of stand up, then I'm doing a little bit of improv. If I'm not doing a lot of that, I'm painting or something, or I'm doing dinner theater or all these other things. So I think the short answer is like I'm up for anything.
You like all of it.
Yeah, I love doing stuff.
Right.
I'm very process oriented.
Right.
I don't even necessarily care about, I do care about the outcome, but I like the process of doing the project.
Have you done some actual, have you done theater that was not dinner theater, like plays?
Yeah, like straight plays and musicals.
Oh, that's
That was
cool.
more when I was younger.
Can you sing too?
I can carry a tune.
All
I don't know if
right,
anybody
all
would
right.
pay to hear me sing, kind of thing.
Do you
but
tap dance, Saskia?
I can't dance. I'm not a dancer.
Not
No,
me either.
no.
Yeah, and I feel like the tap shoes just bring more attention to the fact.
I don't need, the gangliness doesn't need underscoring. I don't need that.
You know, yeah, it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I've never done a play. I feel like I wouldn't be great at it. We'll see. I don't know if comedy's better for me than acting.
Oh my God, doing plays is so fun though. And I'll tell you why I like doing dinner theater is because it's like getting a microdose of doing a play. It's like all of the love and camaraderie of castmates.
Yes.
Without the like weeks and weeks and weeks of rehearsal commitment.
Yes.
But that was one of the things that I loved most about doing theater were like these very intense bonds that you would form with people because you're spending a whole lot of time together all at once to like get this thing down, and you're all working toward this common goal. And it forges family, it forges relationships. You know, it's special.
How long do you usually, like, for your standard play, how long are you doing rehearsals to prepare for these things?
God,
usually?
I don't even remember.
Months?
It's been so long, but yeah, I would be
Really?
8 weeks at least. I
Oh,
would
wow.
think.
Okay.
And like for musicals, maybe more than that.
That
Especially
sounds
if you've got a
scary.
big company that there's choreography and all that kind of stuff. And like for me in high school, that's just the scale of that. I think the biggest thing that we did was probably Grease. And
that's
so that was a
fun.
pretty big cast.
Were you Rizzo?
Of course, yes.
No,
I was Rizzo.
I guessed it.
It was Rizzo and
You'd be
Grease.
great
Okay,
Rizzo,
let's see if we can typecast me. I was Rizzo and Grease. Who was I in Steel Magnolias?
Oh, the crazy lady, the crazy friend, the sassy like.
It was Weezer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I didn't do the Breakfast Club because I turned out for a different thing. But who was I going to be in the Breakfast Club?
Molly Ringwald. Well, it's certainly not
Ali Sheedy. Yeah.
Oh,
the Ali Sheedy part.
Okay.
So I was always like the dark weird girl and all of these things.
Fine.
But but yeah, that was fun. I liked that.
Yeah.
That
you know what your vibe is like? I forget the actress's name, but it was the dark haired friend in Mean Girls. And they put her in everything. It's like that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you
I
have
can't
that.
remember her name, but I love her.
Yeah, you have that kind of vibe. And then also, what was that? There was a show that was
Darlene from Roseanne a lot growing up.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. Same kind of vibe. Yeah. I feel like I'm more of like an Emma Stone kind of maybe. Like that's who I'd probably have play me in a movie, maybe.
Okay.
You know.
I think the more modern version that the kids might know better. Did you ever watch Broad City?
Yes. You remind me of her too.
Abby and Alana both.
Yeah.
I don't know which one I am. I'm a little bit of both.
Yes.
And so are all of my
funny.
friends. Like
they're very funny.
Like
I'm kind of sad that show ended. That was a great show.
Oh my God. Did you watch the finale though? Like
I don't know if I caught it.
Oh my God.
Because how many they only had like what 3 seasons of Broad City?
Oh no, they had like
how many did they
more
have?
than that. I don't know, maybe 5. I don't know. But they had several. And
I feel like they needed more.
It was I would have.
Didn't Friends get like 15?
Forever.
Like I feel like they should. Yeah, it was very funny.
But you can dig back into the internet because before Broad City was on Comedy Central, it was its own web series. So there's all of that still exists. And then Alana had her own thing that was like Chronic Gamer Girl or something. So all these things are still on the internet.
Is that the one with the short curly hair?
Yeah,
she's super funny. She was in that there's a holiday movie out right now that's got her and like Seth Rogen and
yeah.
Who's the cute guy with the dimples? Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
who knows?
And she was like the Grinch in that.
Yeah,
so that would make sense.
Like,
so that would
she's
be
great. And then
your
Abby
spirit animal.
is like doing her own. She did the A League of Their Own or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm like, I started watching that. I need to finish that, but yeah,
Sassy.
I love both of them.
Yeah, I do feel like when you get home, you should watch movie 43. It's not a holiday flick. It's very. It's like an all-star. They made it just to be like slapstick kind of comedy.
Okay.
But it has like Kate Winslet in it and Hugh Jackman. Like for example, they go on a date and he's wearing a scarf and he takes it off and he's got like balls on his chin, like testicles.
What?
And no one seems to notice but her. And she's going, "Oh boy!" And then it got cold and they like. It's so gross.
What?
It's ridiculous.
Is this?
It's ridiculous.
What?
It's got Macaulay Culkin's brother in it. Chris Pratt and Anna Faris. Like it came out in like I think 2012 or 2013, but it's hysterical.
43.
Movie 43.
Movie 43.
Yeah, I love it so much. I bought it because it's just a shit show.
That's insane.
Literally,
check it out.
It's a bunch of different scripts, like different plots. Because basically the way that they do it is, I think it's Gary Sinise, maybe not. I forget who the guy is, but he's pitching a bunch of movie ideas. And so what they did was a bunch of short films with these people put together.
Fun.
Yeah, but they have big stars in this movie, just doing ridiculous stuff.
That.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Emma Stone is in that one too, and she has like this romantic thing with Macaulay Culkin's brother. I forget the guy's name, but
Kieran Culkin.
maybe one of the Culkins. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it's funny. You'd appreciate it. And I feel like you should watch Just Friends. It'll make you happy.
Okay. I'll try
it kind of give me good, memories of what high school was like.
Okay.
Yes. Let me ask you this: some rapid fire holiday questions.
Okay.
As we wrap up, because I know this is your favorite holiday.
Yeah, I love it.
I warned you. I said I'm booking you for the Christmas show.
Yeah.
As we sit around my Yule log. All right. Gingerbread houses or spiced eggnog?
Eggnog.
Of course. Shopping online or in person?
Neither.
I hate shopping too.
Yeah.
I hate shopping. Yeah.
If I'm shopping in person, I always end up shopping for myself.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I see things, I'm very easily distracted. So I'm like, I want that. And then I forget why I'm there.
Yes. Okay. You're not a winter sport person, but if you were, would you choose snowboarding or skiing?
Oh, that's a tough one because I've done both and I'm bad at both.
Right?
I want to say skiing.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like there's just so much more equipment to worry about when you fall.
I'm
terrible at snowboarding.
But I'm bad at, like I said, bad at both. So
where have you gone?
I don't know. At Heavenly.
Where's that?
And it's where you can like ski across the state line from Nevada to California.
Really?
It might be near Tahoe.
Tahoe, I was gonna say. Yeah. Okay.
And I've also been to Snow Bowl
here
in Flagstaff. Right? Yeah, but that
how was that? Ago. It looked the reviews were not great, so I haven't been yet. I'm also old.
Like
so
again, yeah. Well, me too. And also like I'm not going anywhere but that bunny hill, and that bunny hill is overrun with people. There's just too many damn people on it, and there's nothing more demoralizing than watching a fucking 5-year-old whiz past you like they're a little Olympic little shit. And I'm like here having a panic attack because I totally don't know what all this is.
And then they make their own snow up there, right? So it's kind of like snowboarding in California, and then it's like icy.
I don't know. See, I don't know.
Have you been ice skating?
I have been ice skating since I was a kid, but I did enjoy ice skating when I was a kid, and I have tried to do it on those like faux rinks.
Where they'll suck, but especially there's too many kids, and they do like the holiday rink, and there's like chunks missing in the ice. I'm like, we're gonna bust our faces and lose a tooth. There's a hole in the ice. Like, I tried to take up figure skating. I say tried. I took up figure skating only 10 years ago, so into my adulthood. And I have to say, I'm not a jealous person, but seeing like these like 5-year-old Chinese girls do flips. God. How are you flipping on ice?
I know.
like what?
It's like when they just have no fear, and their center of gravity is so low that they're like, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah. Oh no. And by the time I had taken it up, I'd already broken like 20 bones. So I'm like, this could end badly for me, but it was like a bucket list thing, much like doing the comedy and stuff.
Take up crochet or something.
That sounds very safe.
Honestly,
the domestic stuff. Yeah. Do you do the domestic wifey stuff? I do not. I'm not great at that.
What do you mean?
Well, like for example, I'm just not good with that stuff. Like I don't really cook.
I don't cook.
Yeah, I don't know. And then, for example, we had a moment. We decided to take a shower together, and I look around in there. I go, "What are we using for soap these days?" Like I hadn't been to the store, and he's like, "Oh wow." He's like, "That's where we're at." He's like, "I guess we're using shampoo." Like,
That works.
You know, I'm great at adulting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm a very organized person. I'm a very
Sure.
clean and tidy person.
Yeah.
I'm just not a cooking kind of
Yeah,
person.
exactly.
But I do know how to do things like sew. I know how to sew. I know
Yes,
how to like
I can do that.
mend a button or whatever if
Sure.
they need me to.
I used to try to make my own clothes when I was a kid.
Yeah, I've made
Not very well, but I did.
things,
Yeah.
nothing you'd want to wear, but
Right.
yeah, you try.
Like bed sheets into a dress. I'm like, this is great. I made this
They're just
pillowcase
little
into a
craft
hat.
project kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like my little art projects and stuff more than
Sure.
trying to do
You
a
craft your
meal.
ass off, is what you're saying.
I will, if given the opportunity.
Well, and I see people that do all this stuff, and I'm like, how do they have the energy? But then people say all the time, I'm all over the place, and how do I have the energy? But I don't do all the other stuff.
Here's the thing: they don't have the energy because they're not finishing their fucking projects because they're just hoarding it in some back bedroom.
That's true.
That they're like, this is our just whatever room, and
Sure.
don't go in there. Don't go in there.
It's all half finished paintings.
Because it's full of like hoarded up, just
half
boxes
a quilt
of magazines and half quilt tabs and fucking just random feathers and why feathers and like you know and just everything.
I just start throwing out stuff because it gets to be a lot. Then you've got random just crap from Michael's just everywhere.
Yeah, well, and this is the other thing about like I have downsized from a house to an apartment, so I don't have space for all that crap. I got rid of all of my like paints and all these things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I want to pick it up again, I'll pick it up again.
I'll
but
buy
I just
more.
have to be like, judicious about the space that I have for it. And I think it's been great because it's like none of that's irreplaceable. It's just stuff.
The most awkward thing for me, like I hate, my holiday that I hate is Thanksgiving. I just hate it. I didn't have great holiday, Thanksgivings as a kid. And so it was just like my parents fighting over like, my dad wouldn't come to the table. My mom after she cooked all day kind of thing, very old school Italian. And then we never had traditional food. It was like lasagna. And I was like, this is not fun. It was very, I was like really hating the patriarchy at the time. So I was super feminist at the time. So I'm like, I hate everything about this holiday. And then it's awkward even now. And people invite me over. They're like, oh, you could bring a side dish. I'm like, how do I make a side dish? What sides? Like, I'll just make like a loaf of bread.
Well,
and I'm
from the South, so that's a casserole.
I don't even know how to do that. What do you do with
a casserole? Okay, you get a can of beans, and then you get a can of soup.
Okay.
And then you dump them in there together, and then you just add a shit ton of onion and garlic powder.
On top?
Put real food in there. No, and then you mix all of it up. And then you put some of those either crushed up crackers or French fried onions on top.
Oh, wow.
Bake it, and then brown some cheese on top at the very end.
And that's a casserole.
And that's it. Yeah.
Okay. I've done like a buffalo chicken thing before. That's not bad. Buffalo chicken dip.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I saw today, like people are posting all this stuff on Instagram, and I'm like, this is not real life. Like this woman made these brownies that looked exactly like little pine cones.
I don't make brownies, okay? I'm a grown up. I buy brownies at the store.
That's what I'm saying.
Like a grown one. Or at the restaurant where I'm eating dinner and I order a dessert because I'm a grown up.
There's
that gnat.
Yeah, why do we have that? It must be my Christmas tree. I apologize.
Why?
Yeah, I tried to bake a cake once and it imploded. I remember crying and trying to like save it with like popsicle sticks and toothpicks. But I guess it was still hot and I frosted it. Like that's a thing, but it like imploded. It was for somebody's birthday party.
Fuck all of that. Like, and
I
also
know.
remember we talked
ruined
about
it for me.
my time is my currency. So you look at the amount of time you have to put into figuring out a recipe, doing all the prep, doing all the cleanup and all that shit.
No.
How much time it takes to actually cook, and then you probably got to like I don't know, take it, let it lay and spank it and do whatever, and then baby it until it's ready to serve, and then present it. By the time you've done all of that, you've put like 4 hours into something that you're going to devour in less than 10 minutes.
So that being said, does your husband like to cook?
He'll cook.
See, my husband cooks.
I mean,
so we pick the right ones. Yeah,
he likes to
terrible.
Eat, so he'll cook. Like because I ain't doing it.
No,
but no. I don't know how, and I'm not good at it. So it's like it's not like a draw for me to be like, oh, Saskia's going to cook tonight. It's like, let's go to the.
Yeah, it's not my gift. It's really not. And I used to go to like lengths to like hide it, like take him out of the Albertsons container, and I'm like, this was my pie. Like no, I'm just like $3.99. You're welcome.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. So let me know if you want to come over for Christmas. It's gonna be rocking at my house. It really is.
The Costco Christmas.
I don't even do that. Even that, I'm like, I have to do a membership and like fill shit out. Like I just don't have the energy. Like I honestly lost a week somehow. I didn't know Christmas was Monday, so I'm like, oh, like I need to get a tree like tonight. Like,
oh, you haven't even done a tree? Okay, see, we have
we got the decorations out. I was like, oh, okay.
Well, Eric has like an elk skull that's like mounted in the living room, so I just decorate that.
That's hilarious.
I just hang the ornaments off of it, and I put garland on it, and it's fine.
Yeah. That counts.
I don't have room for a tree.
Those are little branches.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one sits on our bar. It's festive.
Right.
And I have another one. I wanted to go get like a believable fake one because we did a real one last year, and that was kind of a beating. Like we found pine needles for a good 6 months. You can't get them out of the car.
Oh, it was a real
tree.
Okay, I can't do that.
It was very
I'm like
sticky.
Allergic to them or something. They're gross. Yeah.
It was sticky, and it's just a whole thing, and they're not cooperative.
That sounds terrible. I don't want that in my home.
Yeah,
no.
I saw this really funny video. This guy accidentally. Oh, he had his windows down, and he tied the tree to the roof, but he tied the door shut.
Oh.
And so he had to climb in through his trunk
Buddy.
to get in the car. Yeah, bless his heart, right?
Oh.
That's what you say in the South.
Indeed,
bless your
indeed,
heart. Yeah.
I will tell you this. I did used to have a 12-foot tall Christmas tree because we had this house with big cathedral ceilings, and that was fun when we had it. But it was labor to get this thing decorated. You had to have like 2 ladders set up.
Did you do a real tree that was that big?
Oh no, God no.
You put it together. That's what we had too.
Yeah.
But then it became my job. Like that was my job from like junior high until I went off to college. Like I put together my parents' tree.
Right.
It was like a 12-foot Douglas fir, and it was like 3 hours to assemble this
thing.
It's
so big, and it's so frustrating, and especially when the lights start dying on it, and you're like, oh God, which one is this
now?
Yeah. So we eventually, I think,
thing.
sold it to somebody who, like, for real cheap because they were like,
I'm over this.
Or something.
I'm over this.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Apparently, they had. My husband happened to notice they had some like trees, like fake trees at Goodwill or something. I was like, oh, that's a good place to get a nice cheap tree that you don't have to keep alive. But he's like, yeah, they're charging like $100. I'm like, for someone's janky old Christmas tree that probably has spiders in it from their attic. No, thank you. No. Hard pass. I'll go to Walmart for the occasion of just getting a tree, but I
will just find
store.
something that's already in my house and throw
antlers
on it. It's fine.
It's actually very creative. I like that. That's very fun. Or I was thinking about maybe like suspending ornaments from my ceiling this year, as making it like a house party kind of vibe.
There was somebody in my old neighborhood. They did like one of these trees that it was basically like a series of hoops that were connected, but you hang the top so it looks like it's like floating.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It was pretty neat.
Like hula hoops kind of things, or like hoops of lights.
It was very mod. It was very.
I love that.
Mod. It was very simple, but mod. It was like
that's
gold hoops, but it was. Like
I love that.
In concentric, layered out.
I could do that.
Yeah,
I could do.
But
the
it was
hoops.
beautiful.
That reminds me, I have an extra hula hoop from the luau if you want it.
I don't.
You don't? Do you still have the other one I gave you? Do you still have it? Have you used it since?
I have tried. Actually, my husband and I had a whole bunch of fun, like probably the next day after we brought that thing home because we were trying to do it and we just got the giggles because it's so silly.
Yeah. I feel like we need like a good weighted hula hoop. Like the real ones.
That's what it is. Like the ones you got, those are like the kids hula hoops.
The kid ones.
Light, but if you have a weighted hula hoop, you can make it happen.
You make it happen.
My first comedy wife, she got to where she could do the fire hoop.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a restaurant out here. Have you been to Toca Madera in Scottsdale?
No.
Okay. This girl did like fire. You should just go to have a drink there just to check it out. We went for my husband's birthday in September, and they have a fire dancer, and it's really fun.
Well, there's a girl, Andriana Garland. I don't know if you know her, but she's a fire eater. She does.
That's cool.
She was in an Israeli circus.
Wow.
So she can do all kinds of fun tricks. Yeah.
I give them so much credit. I mean,
it's fascinating.
I can barely get through the day just doing my normal shit. Then I'm like, how do you get to the point where you can just swallow fire and just go back to it and nothing happened?
I mean, you gotta hate doing the 9 to 5 a lot.
Right.
And I can say
I'm in the Israeli circus.
I've been there. So yeah.
Right.
If I hadn't landed on this, I might be just chugging gasoline and being like, let's see what happens.
Well, even the stuff I do, I feel like I could be much better at it. Like I'm doing dinner theater with you. We were in that one show together. I'm very excited. Next month I'll actually have some real roles because lately I'm just the person that dies. They're like, hey, just come in the room and pass out.
They kind of start you off like
that normal?
just to make sure that you're not a flake. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I showed up like, you're just gonna go die and just hang out in the back. Yeah. The other one you do looks cool because you get to dress up.
It is.
It's like Clue.
Yeah, it's a lot more intense. That's Mystery Mansion. They're at Maggiano's a lot, but that one's a lot of fun for me because that's the one I'm talking that like feels like a microdose of doing a play because you get the costumes.
Yeah. Yes.
you get kind of like a little backstage experience because they're like a pipe and drape company.
Oh,
so they
okay.
basically bring in the set and construct.
And they'll put it up at an Italian restaurant
yeah.
at Maggiano's?
Mhm.
Oh,
Like
that's
in
cool.
one of those banquet rooms. Yeah.
Really?
And then it's basically just takes up a wall, and then all of us actors are behind this black drape.
Okay.
And we've got our tables set up, and we're back there in our underwear with our wigs and stuff, just getting our makeup on and everything. And
now with that one, does someone also die? Is it like a murder mystery kind of thing also?
That one is also a murder mystery thing.
Okay.
So there's an element of gameplay to it because hints are given out during the show.
Sure.
And they give all the patrons like these little things so you can bribe the actors to get another hint. And yeah, so if you're paying attention, you can solve it and you can win a little prize.
That's fun. Have you been the killer before?
I've played all of the female parts, so I've done all of the female parts. But yeah,
nice. The other one I did the night you were there. I did the other one with you, and my husband was the killer. And it's so funny because I didn't read everybody else's part. I read I was like, all I was doing was going in and dying, so I didn't pay that much attention. But apparently, my husband killed me. I didn't even know it.
Yeah.
That's how invested I was. I was like,
I know. I was kind of that way when I started because I was like, first to die. I'm like, okay. And then after I died, I was like,
I guess I moved up from being on call. I was on call for like 2 months. I'm like, well, this has been fun. I do live an hour and a half away.
Right.
I live in Anthem, so it's like we're not near anything.
Yeah, it's like I
don't
think that's ever factored in.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Do you have any other shows coming up between now and
in fact,
February? Let's say this is the holidays.
So one of my goals for the coming year is I want to learn a little bit more about how to get into festivals and stuff because I've never really done that. So a young man by the name of James Linder Barnett, who runs his own mic over in Mesa, I believe it is.
I know that
He's one of the organizers for what will be the first annual Copper State Comedy Festival.
Is it the credit union that's sponsoring it?
I can't remember. I don't know. But if you'll look at our social media page and stuff, I'll be posting about that. So that's going to be a festival with lots and lots of local names here in comedy.
Very cool.
And so I'll be doing that January 6th.
Nice.
And a lot of my other Saturdays in January and February will be with Mystery Mansion, doing dinner theater with them. Yeah. And I've got some other stand-up engagements on the books, and I can't really think of what they are off the top of my head. But
you do a lot with more. Are you still doing a lot with Maureen?
Yeah, with Crack Ups. Oh my God, yeah, Crack Ups. We've got a lot of changes coming up in this coming year, and I'm really excited for it.
Oh, and tell people don't know what Crack Ups is.
Okay, so Crack Ups Comedy Night, that is our local stand-up comedy production company
in Phoenix,
and we're here in Phoenix, and so we've been doing like kind of some bar shows, that kind of thing. And my goal for the coming year is to move us into some more proper club stages and maybe kind of elevate the brand there, because on the other side of it, we do have corporate offerings where we've got a really, really talented improviser. Her name is Laura Wheeler. And she is kind of like helping us craft a program that's going to be an offering for corporate entities that they can use as team builders and ways for them to kind of sharpen their skill sets within whatever profession they're doing. So we'll have those kind of offerings. And then for comics,
like private shows, like for companies.
Well, no, it's things that are geared toward utilizing the concepts of comedy and improv and stand up and putting them to practical application in the business world. So that can be things about like how to, authentically engage your clients and using humor to, maybe bridge gaps in, understanding or whatever. And just different ways of talking to people, meeting them where they're at, those kind of things. And then the other part of the offerings that we're going to be doing are for comedians. So that's more of like the workshop. So we have a writer's workshop on Monday nights. And we're moving it downtown. So I'll post all the info on how to get there and stuff on our page. But that's been a really great experience because we have a core group of people there that are typically there every week, but there's a lot of people that just use it as a drop-in if they're just working on specific sets or they just have something new they want to workshop.
Where do you have it now?
Where it is now, we just had our last one for the year. We wrapped up at Toso's. So,
Toso's. I like Toso's.
It was at Toso's, but we are going to repurpose that Monday night room there at Toso's for an improv offering because we've got a group coming in who is interested in reviving their improv troupe, and we're like, well, we have space for that, so let's do it under the Crack Ups banner. And maybe create a little cross pollination there between our stand up community and some more of the improv community.
That's fun.
So we'll have those kind of offerings this coming year.
Nice.
And just other things that I'm kind of brainstorming now to make available to comedians at all levels of experience. Because people always want to know more about, like, how do you do booking? Like, what is that process? Or how do you, you know, make a social media presence, or like establish your brand, or you know, some of these other kind of things, more like business oriented questions about comedy.
Well, and I've had some great shows with you guys, and
and you were awesome.
Thank you. By the way, I was telling Maureen is it was nice because, you know, I took some time off of comedy and I got back into it just this year after taking like 3 years off. And so one of your shows was the first one I had headlined in like 3 years. And so it had been a while.
That's awesome.
So it was just nice to get the time again, because I'm going to be doing 30-minute shows in March. I'm going to actually do the Honda and some other casinos.
You're going to do great. It'll be great.
Thank you. But that's, it gave me the opportunity, because otherwise you do some of the big clubs and they're like, oh, you're welcome for your 5 minutes. And it's like, cool. I'm so glad I drove 15 hours for this. You know, just to have it on my resume. You do some of those because it's for the notoriety, but you don't get the stage time you need to practice.
That's the other great part about the casino gigs, is like you do get that opportunity to do those longer sets, like 25 to 35 minutes, and you know, it puts you in a real good spot to keep that momentum up.
Do you have a favorite show that you remember doing?
Oh my God. I mean, just even some of the simplest little bar shows have turned into my favorite shows, just because of the people that were there, that we were just having a great time. And that's always a really magical thing when you have an audience who just, they become part of it and they're in on the joke, and it's engaging on a very personal level. I remember doing a living room show once, like probably the first year I started, and it was one of my favorite shows,
private show
that I can remember, because it was in somebody's living room. They got their neighbors to come out. It was my friend Junior Cook, and he told his neighbors, he was like, y'all better bring cash, because we will be donating money to our comedians to help them with their gas money. Cute. It was just a really fun experience. Everybody had a blast, and it was just a good time.
That was a good time.
Good, fun.
I did one of those ones. It was a great set, but it was one of my dirtier sets. And then afterwards, I figured out why it was slightly awkward. The women kind of looked amused and giggled, but only a few like really were laughing. And I found out afterwards it was like my friend's Bible study group. I'm like, that was something you could have mentioned before the vajazzle jokes.
Well, you
know,
never know.
I don't do a lot of sexual humor, but that was the raunchy one. And I was like, oh, great. So
very cool.
Bless you. And also with you. Not the right venue. And there've been some weird ones. Like, you know, sometimes House of Comedy, like during the week, can be a little weird. It's just older white women typically, and I don't know if they don't know what to expect from a comedy show or what, but like they're just a little stuffy.
I think that room, I will say, I think that room does have that is kind of similar to casinos in a way, where like the demographic just skews just a little bit older. And I don't know if that's just a product of where they are geographically, if they're
by Scottsdale, and, I don't know,
you know, or you know, there's a lot of people that live around there, and that just so happens to be that demographic, and they're in there a lot. But I have noticed that room does skew a little bit older. But hey, man, I mean, that's part of being a good comedian, is knowing how to play to those different kinds of demographics.
When they do more of the interactive shows there, which I think is smart.
And they make a lot of great stage time opportunities for up and coming comedians and up and coming producers.
I actually love that venue. That's the club I did first when I moved out here. Was House Comedy. I really like it. And then Mic Drop is great also. Have you ever done one of their brunch shows?
I have not been over there yet, and I'm so embarrassed to say that, because I've been meaning to. And my, you know, the days that they had their open mic, I think it's different than when it started, but the schedule, I couldn't make it happen. And so I just still haven't done it. And that is on my to-do list for this coming year, actually, is to go check out that space, because I've heard so many positive things about it. It's fun.
Well, and I got into it because of Dana Wisson, who we do shows with, and she's great.
Pure magic.
Yes. So I'll send, after the show, I'll send you the info on who we submit to do the brunches, because they're themed. And I did one that was the Friends show, and I was like, oh, I love that show. I'll totally do it.
Okay.
Not thinking, Lauren, you haven't seen that show in like 15 years. So I had to like hurry and catch up on all these episodes. And it was like a Thanksgiving, you know, before Thanksgiving show.
So you just threw a turkey on your head, put some giant glasses and a fez on it. And
kind of is where I was at. I was like, these are my Thanksgiving pants. Like I was like,
Got
put
it.
that on your plate. Like I'm
Love it.
like, Sophie, Lennon, what happened? No, I was trying I was trying to do this and I'm like, oh wow. So before you commit to a theme,
Sure.
make sure you've like brushed up on it.
Okay.
That's the only thing I
So
suggest.
noted.
But they're really fun. And it's actually, you know why those are fun? It's like a Sunday afternoon, but everyone gets lit. Like women and
I love it.
brunch. There's something
Yeah.
about that just the magic happens.
That's
and
a special pocket of culture that
well,
I'm all about.
and every show I've done there, I can honestly say it was a good crowd.
Great.
It was never, I've never had an off night there.
Is it an outdoor thing?
No,
Okay,
they have that just for the mic outside.
Oh, okay.
So the brunch is inside, and their food's phenomenal. It's great, and then Stir Crazy is good too. I've done their shows on like Wednesdays and stuff.
I love Stir Crazy.
Yeah, so it's good. Before we wrap up, I have another Grinch question for you.
Okay.
What is something that annoys you in everyday life?
Something that annoys me in everyday life. Now, I'll be honest, I've gotten pretty blissed out the last several years. I've had a lot of therapy. I'm medicated.
Oh, I need that. Prozac? I was just kidding. Don't answer that.
I've been taking Zoloft for 20-something years. Not going to stop anytime
I think it's the one that Dana talks about too. She's like, I'm just checked out. Like, I think I need that. This weed's not cutting it anymore.
But no, I really, the older you get, the easier it is to step outside of your own skin and then go, oh, maybe this guy in traffic's being an asshole because he's having a bad day and his kids are dead or something.
So it's literally a chill pill. So it sounds like it's working.
Yeah, I guess. No, it's not the pill. That's the therapy. That's the that's the therapy.
Yeah.
And also stepping away from people who are not like positive minded in that way.
Yeah.
Just being around people that are always negative. It's a bummer, and I don't want to be around it. So
it's kind of interesting in the comedy scene. You'd be surprised there are a lot of people that are just kind of negative. And competitive and weird, and it's like it's just supposed to be fun. We're funny people. Let's have a good time.
Like when it stops being fun, I'll stop doing it.
Yeah, I think my Grinch thing would have to be I really don't like when someone's in front of you in line and they're at the counter or whatever they're ordering and they have no idea what the hell they want. Like fucking figure it out, then go up there. Yeah, what is that? And I'm always behind that person.
Yeah.
Or they're in the grocery store, and I literally am holding like a jar of salsa, like nothing, and they've got a cart full of shit. And they're like, "Oh, I forgot my other things," and they go to get other things, and they want me to wait with my little jar of salsa, like an asshole. And I'm like, "You really couldn't let me go ahead of you?" Like,
see, that's funny. Half the time, people, if I have like one thing, they'll be like, "You go ahead. You only have one thing." I'll be like, "Great, thanks."
Yeah, I have very expressive eyes. Like I don't hide. I don't have a poker face, So it's like, come on. So
I'm a very patient person, though.
Yes. Yeah.
It doesn't mean I'm not fantasizing about that person's death ahead of me.
Dinner theater. You're like, I would love to kill you at Maggiano's.
Yeah, I'm keeping it in here, and I'm going to use it on the stage.
Yes. Thank you for being a guest on the show tonight for my Christmas episode.
Oh my God!
Yes, you were a good balance,
Hanukkah.
right? Yes.
It's okay, isn't it?
For our listeners, one more time before we go, how can they find you on social media and for all your upcoming shows and where you post all that?
So on the Facebook and the Instagram, I'm some iteration of Saskia B or B Saskia, and Saskia is spelled Saskia.
Love it.
And B is spelled Bee.
Like the Bumble.
Like
the
Bumble.
Awesome. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Happy holidays. We'll go bake some cookies together.
Okay,
we'll knit our asses off.
We'll eat some, but I don't.
Yes,
we'll get baked and eat cookies.
I'm definitely eating them, but I don't know about baking them. But yeah,
we'll get baked and eat cookies.
I'll call you.
Fine.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Merry Christmas. She just farted on my Christmas. She said,
"That was fun.
Thank you.
It was a great little chatteroni."
Okay, I'm gonna turn this off. Da-da-da-da-da-da. It like records until I hit the little X. Sorry. Bye.
Well, here's your lav, and I hope I was loud enough for it. I feel like my voice is dropping out because my sinuses. I can't really hear myself. But
yes.
Do what you can. You can just dub me in. Just dub in whatever you want me to say. You can put peanut butter on my gums, and I'll move my mouth like a dog. You can Mr. Ed me.
You got it. Thank you. There was no clock today, so I had no idea how long we were going. I'm sorry.
No, you got ended at 1:08.
Okay, thank you. I try not to keep you too late. I didn't know how long we were here.
Good.
It worked out.
Sweet. Do you want me to power this thing off?
Yes. turn everything off. Thank you. There we go. Take this off. Well, you were an easy guess.